Jared James Dicus was seen stealing beer from his wife's workplace around the time he stabbed her head with a kitchen knife. Ong and her husband Jared had just gotten married in October after they met at her workplace where she was a cashier in October 2022. Ong Diaz was the happiest woman when she found the love of her life. But her happiness was short-lived because in January 2023, Ong was brutally and dismembered by her new husband. But what really happened? Why did Jared kill his new bride? This case is truly horrific and disturbing. Ong Diaz is a cheerful, enthusiastic, and friendly young woman with a lot to live for. She is from Nicaragua. She is the oldest of 4 siblings. Since childhood, Ong was cared for by her aunt, her mother's older sister, because her biological mother, Dania Diaz, had moved to America to seek a better life for her children. In November 2019, Ong also moved to America in hopes of reuniting with her mother and earning enough money to help with her aunt's cancer treatment. Her mother describes Ong as a unique, special, and strong girl who is always happy and fun to be around. While in America, Ong lived in Houston, Texas, where she worked 2 jobs. One of them was as a cashier at Cheap's Meat Market. Her co-workers described Ong as a hard-working young woman who was smart and loved to laugh. Ong also loves fitness, and her Instagram page is filled with photos of her weight loss and fitness journey. Her life was going according to plan, and the future looked brighter for Ong. However, one morning in early 2022 changed everything. It is unclear how Ong met 21-year-old Jared James Dicus, but they most likely met at Cheap's Meat Market. Jared seemed like a charming guy who shared Ong's interest in fitness and sports. The two hit it off right away, and even though they were both very young, they knew they wanted to spend the rest of their lives together. Ong's friends said Jared seemed very caring, and they both seemed happy together. But Ong's family and friends also felt a bit worried about how quickly their relationship was developing. After only 6 months of dating, they got married on October 21, 2022 in a private ceremony that surprised their friends and family, as none of them were invited. A judge who officiated the wedding posted a photo of the happy couple on his Facebook page right after their wedding ceremony. Ong's friends and co-workers said she seemed happy with her new life as a married woman and often posted photos of the two of them together. But there were times when her co-workers noticed something was wrong. Ong seemed very happy with her husband, but there were days when she looked different. She looked tired, but her co-workers were not sure whether she was tired because of her work or because of her marriage. A friend of Ong who has known her for almost 4 years told the media station that Ong had confided in him that her new husband was a very jealous person. His possessive and controlling nature sometimes comes out in some of his social media posts. Jared once posted a video saying "she's mine" on his social media, and it felt weird because no one questioned it. The last time Ong saw her other friends was at a 2022 Christmas party where Jared reportedly threw a tantrum and left looking very upset. Her friends said Ong never said there was a problem. Maybe she was embarrassed to admit that her relationship was not perfect. On Christmas Day 2022, Ong posted a happy photo of herself with her husband on Instagram and wished her family and friends a Merry Christmas. Jared responded to the post by saying "Merry Christmas to my beautiful wife" and calling her "my trophy." But just a few weeks later, Ong was brutally murdered. Jared and Ong lived in a cottage behind Jared's parents' house in a small town called Magnolia. On Wednesday, January 11, 2023, at approximately 4 p.m., Waller County Sheriff's Office deputies responded to the house after receiving a 911 call from Jared's father. According to the sheriff, Jared's parents were worried when Jared came to their house without Ong. When they asked him where Ong was, Jared said something strange that made them believe that something was wrong. Jared's parents then came to the couple's cottage, and when they entered, they found a horror scene with blood splattered everywhere. Ong's partially dismembered body was lying on the floor near their bed. She had been stabbed multiple times in the back, and her head had been detached from her body. The man who had sworn to love and protect her was the one who did it. It's really sad and very heartbreaking, because no one would have ever imagined that the person they loved and trusted so much would be able to hurt them in such a way. But unfortunately, this is a painful and sad reality for many women who marry psychopaths. The Waller County Sheriff had a hard time describing the gruesome scene to the media. The sheriff said a kitchen knife, believed to be the weapon, was found along with Angie's head in the bathroom. All of Ongi's body parts have also been found. Jared was still at the scene when authorities arrived, and he and his family members were taken to the police station for questioning. As news of the gruesome murders spread quickly, the community was horrified that something so horrific could happen so close to their homes. A neighbor who has known Jared for years could not believe that Jared would be capable of such brutality against the woman he claimed to love so much. Jared never seemed like a crazy person. He was not the type to be violent. He protected the people he loved and cared for. Meanwhile, the neighbors described Ongi as a little sunshine in Jared's life. Jared made her happy, and Ongi made Jared excited to live his days. Ongi's co-workers and friends were also shocked by the news. Wednesday morning, when Ongi missed her morning shift, they called her family to ask about her. That's when they found out the bad news. Ongi's family struggled to cope with such a painful loss. Ongi's mother, Dania, revealed that one of the reasons she moved to America was to escape an abusive relationship in Nicaragua. She never imagined that her daughter would be a victim of the same thing, even dying in a very tragic way. She hopes justice will be served for her daughter. Despite all that Jared did to her daughter, Dania said she has no hard feelings towards Jared's parents because she understands that they are not to blame for Jared's evil actions. Dania also hopes that her daughter's tragic death will help open the eyes of other women who experience domestic violence, because sometimes they don't have the courage to speak up. The judge who married the couple felt the need to make a post on Facebook addressing the tragic situation. I am sure many of you heard about an incident yesterday in the Magnolia area of Waller County where a young man was arrested and charged with the murder of his wife. This involved a young couple that I married in October of 2022. During my short time with them, they were a wonderful young couple like many of you. I am deeply saddened and shocked by the news of this tragic event. My thoughts are with their entire family. On Thursday, January 12, 2023, a vigil for Ongi was held outside Cheap's Meat Market in Magnolia. Over 100 friends, family, and community members gathered to remember Ongi as an amazing person. Candles and flowers were scattered around photos of Ongi Diaz, who was tragically killed. A donation page was opened to pay for Ongi's funeral and managed to raise over $37,000. Many questions came to people's minds, such as why did this have to happen? What caused Jared to do such atrocities to his new bride? And what was his motive? After his arrest, Jared confessed to killing and dismembering his wife's body. Details of what led up to the gruesome murder have not been released, but old police records show that Jared had some pretty obvious anger issues. On November 20, 2022, just a month after getting married, Jared was reportedly arrested for driving under the influence. Court records also show that police were dispatched to the Whataburger around 2 a.m. after an employee called 911 to report that a man was being aggressive toward a Whataburger employee. The man, later identified as Jared, reportedly wanted to use an Apple account to pay for his food order at the drive-thru and forced his way inside. He was so aggressive that they locked him out. When officers arrived later to search his vehicle, they found a full bottle of alcohol. Jared also told officers he had taken pills but could not name them. He was arrested and charged. But when Jared was taken to the police station, he became extremely agitated and threatened the arresting officer and jail staff. The document goes on to say that Jared continued to exhibit mood swings and violent behavior, including punching a window. Officers were forced to restrain him in a chair to draw blood from him for testing. At his trial, prosecutors asked the judge to increase his bail from $500,000 to $1 million to protect the public from his violent tendencies. A CCTV video was played in court showing Jared a few hours before Ongi's body was found. At around 11:40 p.m., Jared's car was seen pulling into the parking lot of the store where Ongi worked. Jared then walked into the store, grabbed a beer, and left without paying. He then opened the beer in the parking lot, took a sip, and then drove away. At this point, it is unclear whether he just killed his wife or he was just about to do it. It is very disturbing and creepy to see how cold and calm he is in the footage. His behavior in the video shows that he has no regrets about what he has done or what he is about to do to Ongi. After a psychologist deemed him competent, Jared decided to make a plea deal with the state. He therefore waived his right to appeal the court's verdict. On August 1, 2024, Jared was sentenced to 40 years in prison for the murder of his wife. Due to the serious nature of his offense, he will not be eligible for parole until 2043. What do you think about this case? That's all for this story. Don't forget to click like, share, subscribe to support us. See you again in the next videos, and stay alert.